So just one moment,
We'll do that
street
again, and that was a practice run.
Okay, round on.
Okay, it's working now.
Okay, thank you very much for this meeting. June 3rd, seems like that's come round too quick. Well, firstly, item on the agenda is election of chair. Do we have any proposal? Lisa?
I'd like to propose yourself. Or Brandon. I'd like to second that.
Thank you. Is there any other nomination? In which case, please, can we have a show of hands? I can vote for myself then.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Next important item on the agenda is election of vice chairman. That's to keep me in order. Proposal, Lisa?
If Brandon would like to stay as vice chairman, then I'd be happy to nominate her.
I'd rather not be a man.
Oh, correct.
Vice chair.
Vice chair.
Thank you, Fran. You don't want to keep me in order. Vice chair.
Are you happy to?
Vice chair.
Yeah.
Thank you.
People are happy to have me as vice chair again.
Anybody else?
A seconder.
Also.
Thank you, Rabina. Any other nominees? In which case, please can we show of hands? Well, that was pleasant enough, wasn't it? Eh?
Yeah. Well done, you two.
Thank you very much. And as you can see, she's trying not to failure here, so just keep me in order. Right, in which case we move on to declarations of interest. Is there anything on there? I don't think so. And as we were reminded.
Do we not get apologies first?
Yeah, apologies. Yeah, apologies for absence. Yeah. Okay, we're happy to accept that for Shapley's apology. Thank you.
Councillor Draper has just messaged me to say that they're running late.
Okay.
They are on their way to
Lucy to arrive then, and we'll accept
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We can move to declarations of interest. Most of your interests are in the forms that you submit, which we've got to do new ones. And while we're doing that, just to remind us that we are in Herder, and I'm sure we all know the rules around Herder. So we don't need to discuss those because then we might agree with Herder. So, in which case the minutes are number 5. Are people happy with the minutes?
Yeah.
It's a long time ago. But okay, can we agree those?
Yep.
Thank you. Agreed unanimously. Terms of reference. These are really just to note because all councillors agree with them. We happy to note those?
Yeah, noted.
Thank you. Budgets really, there's nothing significant in those budgets yet. Are you happy that we just note those budgets?
Noted.
Thank you. Which brings updates outside representatives of bodies. I think we'll avoid that tonight but further. If there's anybody else who's got anything significant, the same. Well, I did miss public session, but the reason I missed public session is I'm going to suspend standing orders on update on representatives and outside bodies we've done. Item 9, are you happy that I suspend standing orders?
Yes.
I propose to suspend standing orders.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I did the public session, because I felt it was important. Sit to the table. Would you like to come up and join?
Do we not have to vote on that?
Yeah, all those.
Thank you.
Thank you, she just. Well, I knew you were all in favour. I knew you could.
Louise likes to vote though.
She loves the vote. Can we come up to the table line and Caroline and sit with us and talk through your proposals, please?
Very honoured.
I know you're not, it's just that we like to do that in this committee. We sort of really like to think people in what we do. Carry on.
Okay, thank you very much for allowing Carol and yourself a chance to explain a few things. Can't deal with everything in a few minutes, and I don't want to take up too much of your valuable time. And I apologise for handing out yet more paper, but I thought I'd give you the most up-to-date timetable of the events that we are hoping and planning to put on next March to commemorate the Great Fire of Buckingham. Now, there's an awful lot more to that week, because there will be exhibitions and things that aren't actually appearing, which I won't go into at the moment. If you have questions afterwards, that's fine. But basically, what we're trying to achieve here is a fitting commemoration to a pretty significant period in Buckingham's history. And I think it's important that we as a town accept that and join forces, as many groups as we can, to make sure that it doesn't pass by without a suitable celebration. Celebration is not quite the right word when you're talking about it.
Commemoration.
But a commemoration, I think, is the thing. And because of that, we obviously want to make it a totally inclusive event, accepting all ages and any group that wants to join in and take some part in what Carolyn and I and Ed are putting forward. The second thing is, one of our aims, one of the main aims, is to include as many children, young people, contributing in some way. And that goes with an attempt to make all of us a lot more aware of what happened to our town 300 years ago, because as we all know, what happened in the past has an awful lot to do with how we are now and how we will be in the future. Another aim we would like to achieve is not just to make it a one-off, but obviously to leave certain things as a legacy, so that it's an ongoing memory, and it's an ongoing not a one-off event, but something that is, I can't think of the word,
Legacy.
a legacy to the whole thing. And the last two things, we are, because it's a theme of fire, we're working very closely with the fire service, and any funds that we do happen to raise at the end of this, that's not the purpose of the event at all, but collecting buckets and things, and occasions when people can donate to the firefighters charity, and I hope that's an acceptable way forward. And obviously, during the course of the week and during the course of this, people learn better, people are aware if they're having some fun as well. So I hope I've not missed any of the main ideals out. But because of that, you're obviously, being the town council, there are certain things that we've made a request for. At the moment, not money, fortunately, but obviously it's something that and we all would appreciate you taking on board absolutely 100% totally. I think from my meeting with Louise earlier, that there may be a difficulty, there always is, when you talk about town road closures. But I do think it's important that we commemorate and have events that are very close to the historical location of where the fire started. And that, of course, throws up all sorts of practical problems with markets being there. And we don't want to disrupt anything. Nobody ever tries to be disruptive, but there are ways and means of getting around this. And because we're going to have to fund this, and we've already had some generous offers and donations, and I don't see that's going to be a problem. But if we had to go outside to a company to make the road closures happen, so be it. But obviously, we prefer that not to happen. The second thing is, obviously, being a major historical event, we would like to arrange an evening when the local dignitaries, i.e. the mayor and the entourage and all the, make an official evening of leaving a plaque or some description. It's all a work in progress at the moment, but to leave a legacy and have an evening which is then documented as the main official focal point of what we've tried to do.
That's good.
Should we talk about the model?
When I mentioned exhibitions, one of the key elements that we're involving children, very kindly, the Rotary and Men in Sheds have taken on board the whole project of creating a scale model of the town as it was in 1725.
Well, that's
Excellent.
And that's a fairly major
Yeah.
thing. And Carol and I breathed a sigh of relief when.
Please don't tell me you're going to
My
say.
Meccano days are finished, I'm afraid. But no, that will be something special. And obviously built around that will be children's possible art contributions, perhaps some poetry. And also we're a dramatic legacy as well, because we are going to film, and you all know Ed Grimsdale. He's a magician with words.
Yeah.
And I've given him some scenarios, and he's writing what we call verbatim theatre, which is actors speaking the real live people.
Wow.
And because of his vast knowledge of the whole thing, the history of the fire and everything else, he's creating some really lovely little anecdotal and factual little scenarios, which we will film, and at some stage during the week, put it on display, on show. And that will be legacy for
We have
several other things as well.
That's a wealth of
I think
people
those
in
are
town.
two sort of exciting things
Yes.
that will hopefully open the exhibition and open the whole weekend of events.
I mean, we have a wish list.
Quite a long one.
I'll surprise Carolyn with this, but obviously things cost a lot of money. Now, it would be really nice as part of that Saturday evening where the road's closed. I've made inquiries, and I know how much it would cost to have a great, we won't set fire to the town, so don't panic about that. But we could have a big laser show of and a commentary as though it was living the moment of 1724. But that's a wish list.
Yes, that's very much a wish.
Yeah. And a wish would be that we could offer free entry to everybody to the various concerts and things but we may have to charge for tickets for that. But so in a nutshell, that's basically what we're planning, what we're working hard to put forward.
Firstly, thank you so much for talking about. From my own point of view, I have to declare I'm a member of the fire party. It's for the isn't a prejudicial issue, it's on my own. But also just to note that I was informed that my family were involved in the fire of Buckingham. My family name was mentioned in the fire.
Well,
You didn't start it, did you?
We've got no evidence.
One of the things I'm just negotiating now, and this is totally out of my comfort zone, and I have asked some help from the present company about an awful lot of people still live in Buckingham, like yourself, who have ancestors, relatives who were affected by the fire or not affected by the fire. And one of the things with the verbatim theatre, I hope we have some real life people who live in real life houses now who have stories and have done some research on their local history. And that will all be done through word of mouth and social media.
I'm going to take questions.
Just a couple of things. One, so my mum taught history at Wood for years, and she, when they did the Great Fire of London, she got all of her students to make, like I said, scale models of the houses. So she'd have like a bakery and everything. but she let them set fire to it on the school field. I think they loved it, and I'm not suggesting that we could, because I think that got put stop to after a couple of years. But the kids really enjoyed, because it gave them like a tangible thing.
Ownership.
An ownership.
Yes.
To be like, oh, I've made this thing where it happened, so I think that was really good. Secondly, as a kid, I was fascinated with the Great Fire of Buckingham, and I'm amazed at how many people my age don't know about it. And you sort of said, like, oh, you know, Great Fire of Buckingham, I'm like, what? So I think it's great that it's being given this
Not only the people
recognition.
your age either.
Yeah.
Know much about.
And thirdly, from the charitable point of view, when I was mental health nursing, I worked with a few firefighters suffering with post-traumatic stress disorder. So I think anything that can help towards that thing, which is kind of quite an under-recognised issue in their workforce. Yeah, I think 3 points is all great. And I think, yeah, it's great.
As most of these things, a rolling stone gathers momentum as it goes on. And one of the things I'm hoping that happens is the schools take it on board and maybe do projects that are nothing to do with what we're planning, but to take it as a learning process with the children themselves. I already, Chandos Road School already, I hear, every year they take their year ones on a tour of the houses that were affected by the fire. So I'm hoping to meet this person who knows a little bit about that. Because one of the things we were doing is organising tours. But setting fire to our model probably won't happen. But other things,
I think
no
there's a lot of
doubt.
VHS of it somewhere.
Maybe we could send that to the committee.
I was going to ask if you've thought about what will happen to the model after this week, whether we're going to be rivaling Beaconscott.
Well, we would like it to live on after the event, certainly, and I think the main problem will be the venue. We're hoping we might do the exhibition in the jail, or possibly a larger venue if we can find something suitable.
What sort of size?
It's 1 in 500 scale, which means the area covered is about 1 kilometre. So you're looking at a tabletop.
Yeah, it's
I
probably.
mean, anything larger than that, and we've got difficulties with balance with where to house it, people. So it's not like the point your mother set fire to. It'll be fairly intricate and fairly precise.
I just thought it was about half the size of this table, as an idea.
I'm thinking hot first when you said model village, and everybody's in the film hot first.
A space is quite a premium in like the old jail or places like that. I wonder if a suggestion could be they could go up, you know, like on shelving, so that they're out of the way but still seen.
Yeah.
So they're not down and taking up room on the ground, so to speak. They could go up. And also your family history, I'm quite happy to do your thing, because you know I'm like family history.
Don't tell me anything that I shouldn't know.
Yeah, so yeah, I do family history, genealogy, so if anybody wants any help with that, ancestry and the other ones, quite happy to help.
Thank you.
Anything else? No questions? No, just from my own point of view, Lionel did talk to me about this, I believe some considerable time ago, what his ambitions was. And I do know that Louise in the office have been talking to you about theoreticals around the possibility of delivering it, but I think those conversations will carry on. There's still work to be done on actually making sure that can be supported. We had, for information only, it's nothing to do with the event, we had previously, I think it was on, I think the Davis and myself met you, we came back here and thought we ought to mark the fire, which we will do at the event next year in the park, Buckingham event. So we're going to mark it there, which might be another opportunity after the event, is to actually put some feedback to the park, to a different group of people in the park. That's what we decided to theme it around that, because we were conscious that this was an important occasion, and with where we got with events, where could we possibly do something which we were already doing, which was an important part, but that can be talked about at another stage, and we have got a report which I on the agenda today, we're prepared to do a report about where we're going to go with this day, which has been declared by the officers for tonight, and from my own point of view, I'm very grateful that you've come, and I'm really thankful that you've explained which is confusing at them. And to take, we are not the whole council, we are just the events committee. John.
Just a thought, and it may be too late now, but there is a celebrate Buckingham Day happening in a couple of weeks' time. If it were possible for one or both of you to be there with the table, you might get some willing volunteers, because there'll be people wandering around looking at the stuff that's
I
going
think it's possibly part of the Buckingham Society store.
Excellent.
Just if you give the collective list of people who are willing to contribute.
That's a good idea.
Anything else, Andy?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Rob.
Could this whole item be taken to the full council, because the full council really has to be included, as not just DCL and CL, which tends to be at the moment.
Excellent. I understand you.
And let's take it to the full council and get them included and make it a totally inclusive full council event.
I think that when we come back into stuff, these minutes will go to the full council. How we,
These recommendations.
the recommendations will
Yeah.
go to the full council. What I think would be appropriate, we'll talk about that, is how we express that, to make sure that we get a buy-in outside this room, with the other members of the council, because our budget was set at the beginning of the year, and we need to get a buy-in with them about some of the points in the recommendation. And so I would talk about that when we put in the standing orders, move back into thing with state standing orders. But is anybody who hasn't spoken wish to speak again? John.
Well, I think what Andy says is a good idea.
Yeah.
We could, with the recommendations, because these recommendations wouldn't ordinarily appear in the minutes,
Yeah.
or the referencing to the full council. But perhaps if it were, it says here that the clerk will write a letter of support for use by the organising group, blah, 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 blah. Is it worth maybe tabling that letter for the next full council meeting?
Yeah, we'll do. Can you say that again when we reinstate standing orders? Is that all right?
Fair enough.
So that we can actually agree it. Otherwise it can't be agreed. With that, can we record our thanks for both of you coming? You can stay at the table and listen to it. Don't run away while we're talking. We're quite happy to sit there and listen to it. Yeah, no, I know.
That will not be talking. Thank you so much. It's so exciting. Yeah.
Well, thanks.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Pauline.
Reinstate standing orders.
Yeah.
Great.
We will second it.
All those in favour? Thank you. In which case.
It was Andy, I think.
Andy.
Oh, sorry, Andy.
Yeah. In which case, I move you to item 9, which is the report before us, and open up for discussions and taking on board the theoretical proposals support. But basically, how could my own question, separate to the report before us and the information we've been given tonight, how members feel about the concept?
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really positive. Is there anything within the report that we put forward tonight, listening to the members wish to change, amend, or whether you're happy that we take forward recommendations with the amendments, which I believe Councillor Harvey is going to make to it? Would that be correct, John?
Yeah, well, I'm happy to refer to it. If Andy wants to propose it on second, what I would say, that we put it on the agenda of full council with mainly this report, so
Yeah.
the council is aware of it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll support,
So
second.
that's going to be an amendment to this which we would have to put that we made the recommendation 1.1, would that be correct?
I think you could agree the report recommendations and then Andy could make a motion that the report is highlighted on the full council agenda.
Okay, we'll do that then. Are we happy to agree the recommendation?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have a show of hands? Thank you. In which case, Andy, you're going to propose that,
I propose that we take it to the full council.
and,
Shortened.
okay,
Jonathan,
is that agreed? I think you're absolutely right, but get a buy-in. And, yeah, it was, it will be really good for the town,
fantastic.
through the chair, can I just suggest that we write back to them tonally agreed recommendations, and that, both Councillor Murray and Councillor Harvey propose taking full council to make them inclusive to it in that letter. Is that okay? So that they're immediately aware that we've taken action. What we can't do is act outside the recommendations that we've got in here, because there'll be a report. And
Thank you. Just another proposal that we let all the villages around Buckingham who have parish councils made aware that we are going to hold this, but they have as much a stake in Buckingham as the people in Buckingham, because they were almost neighbours to all of us, and they use the town.
many of their
Yes.
families would have been
Yes.
included.
So, yes, we can take it to all the local parish councils and councils around Buckingham.
Would they not be doing that anyway?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Can I suggest that what we do is, we send it to the communication strategy group to work with the officers to model the sort of thing.
I think perhaps like we could, as a starting point, should we ask if they're already planning? to-
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
that's right,
And
Yeah.
It's just an idea that however you want to expand it and use it, think, fine, it's okay.
yeah.
but with that, so we'll do a press Facebook post around what the aspirations of the event is.
I think that's what.
John.
Well, there's a community board meeting coming up at some point, at a certain date, and we postponed because of the election, but we've got time, I think, to put it on the agenda, and that will be a way of letting all the local parish councils know. Obviously, the ones that are in the community board, not Panbury, for example.
Yeah, it's
But,
strange, that, isn't it?
the community board that we are part of would then get to hear about it. And if we could- So I propose that we ask the community board to put this on the agenda.
Yeah.
We do that?
I'll second it.
Secondly, would it be, the community board funding looks very strange at best, nice. Would it be advisable that we make them aware of the community board grant there?
Yes.
The clerk's already done that, so.
Yeah, I was
that's
gonna
good.
say. It's just in the report.
Yeah. I know that, but I'm just referring to heading the not many people watching to know the red report.
But also they might be going to the community board, so again, I'd say let Louise find out what they're doing.
Yeah.
Before jumping into
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, well, let's work properly, but
yeah.
is there any issue with us saying that they've been here and they're intending to do this event? Because it is their event, not our event.
No,
And
and
I think we may be able to communicate it for them, but it's got to be perhaps do it through the choice information thing or something.
so one of the report recommendations that you have just agreed is that we, the town clerk, could write a letter of support for any grant applications that they do. So in that case, if they did decide to apply, for example, to the community board
Yeah.
funding, that they could send that off with this,
Yeah.
and it would show that they have
Yeah.
this committee support them.
Yeah. Sounds good.
It isn't our event, we shouldn't do to
Yeah.
overshadow them, that's what I was thinking. So is there anything else on that positive exchange that anyone wants to bring up? Yeah, a vote on the amendments and proposals. Agreed.
So we voted on the John's proposal that we asked for this event to be on the community board
Yes.
agenda.
Yes.
But we'll find out whether they're doing that.
I think we need to allow
Yeah.
Lionel and his group to lead on that rather than us, because otherwise it can be seen as treading on toes, as you said that you, the letter of support is what we're asked for at this present time.
It's in right, could simply be just to let the community board know.
I just go back to, let's let Louise find out if they're doing it anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you happy that what we'll do is have a conversation respecting who owns the event?
Yeah.
And then if necessary,
Then we'll
the
do,
letter of support can be part of the communication about the event taking place.
Yeah.
Would that be
yeah,
the most appropriate way of doing this?
yeah.
Sorry, just for the clarity of the minute, so Lisa is proposing that before we write to the community board, we check with Lionel and Caroline whether they are already in conversation.
And the parish councils, the other ones that are not involved in,
And if not, we do something to support them.
Yeah.
But we're not taking out, it's got to be modelled in the way that, because we're supporting it with a letter of whatever, but we'll it must be coached in the right manner.
Yeah.
Was there a seconder for that? Like Fran, me?
Yeah.
I think we accept it as part of the motion anyway.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
Yeah. Is that, should we set that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Proposing to.
Sorry, I think we need one final vote on it now.
Okay, we have another last vote.
Last chance, Robin.
I know. All those in favour?
Thank you very much.
Hand exercise we do, please. Yeah, we've got some careful notes on hand exercises are good for councillors. So. Right, thank you. Which cases there's an item on the agenda update on the June 6th.
It's Thursday.
Yeah.
But because we couldn't put it on an agenda, because whatever, so officers have worked on this to make sure that we actually mark it. I think it's quite significant.
Good time.
And if
It's good.
You can lead on this.
Yes.
Right, everything lead on this, so that we get explanations given.
So just to summarise, back in November, I believe it was, we agreed that we were going to support the churches in a D-Day commemoration event with the beacon lighting. Unfortunately, early this year, well, a little while ago, they let us know that they weren't able to run that event anymore. We sort of did try and offer to support them a little bit more to help make that happen, but they weren't happy that they could do it. So we have switched plans around. We had to do this on very short notice, I'm afraid, so it's already been decided that there will be a flag raising at 11 o'clock, which will include the town crier. There is an official town cry for D-Day. And the mayor of Buckingham will also be there to raise the Union flag at 11 o'clock on D-Day. Sort of separately to that, it had already been planned to put the Union flags up as well. So they will go up on the 45 blue flag poles around town. They'll go up on Wednesday. And there's also a plan for a window display, sort of similarly to the Workers' Memorial Day one in the window.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So we generally supported that.
Yeah.
We couldn't do anything, we had to do something immediate because obviously something wasn't going to happen for whatever reason, that's irrelevant. And also that Buckingham, for the matter of fact, Buckingham, the regiment that Buckingham was connected to was actually landed in Normandy. So Oxford, Bedford, West Berks landed in Normandy, and there are families connected to those families who actually went into Normandy, which I can imagine must have been one of the most awful experiences in life. I can imagine being chunking across the channel, probably the first time they've been abroad.
Many of them,
No passport needed for that trip.
no.
And whatever, so we'll be happy to note.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think on the next item in the agenda, just to discuss the report, who's leading on that report? You are? Right, okay, and just go for the rationale for the report, and then I'll ask for being to be leading on it.
So the Fringe Week is coming up at the end of July. So this is the finalised list of events. The sort of booklet brochure for it this year goes to print tomorrow. So many of these events you will have known about already, and they're sort of the old favourites are in there. So we've still got Oxford Fiddle Group, Art in the Market, Family Fun Day, the Fringe Week Comedy Night. We've got quite a lot of new things as well. So Grave Notes are going to come and do some busking. The Buckingham Society Summer Lecture is in Fringe Week this year. There's going to be a drag night at the Grand Junction. Buckingham Summer Club are doing their send session during Fringe Week. Disco Bingo at King's Head. And there'll be a rhythm and song workshop and concert at Embleton Way Scout Hut. That's with the Swan Singers. There's also the Chantry Chapel intended to do free sort of crafts and face painting through the week. And I know that there had been a request from the committee previously to try and do something that involved the schools. And so this year it's a sort of mass or sort of communal art project on a smaller scale than some of our previous art projects.
Round discs.
So they're round discs, but there's more than 500 of them. And they've been distributed to all of the schools and also First Down as they're moving part of their school year in September. The University of Buckingham, some of their students through the Friends group and 2 of the care homes so far have all agreed to take part. So they've taken a selection of discs, and then each disc is decorated by one person who does some sort of self-reflective piece of art. So it could be a self-portrait, it could be something they really like, or something emotional. And then we'll bring them all together. So basically the concept is that sort of everyone as individuals brought together makes up the town. And we sort of really talked to the people that were taking part about the fact that we had this totally Buckingham theme this year, and that we wanted to talk about the diversity of this town and how different we all are through. So it'll be very exciting to see what comes back to that. Got no idea at the moment. And there are some left. So if there are councillors that want to take part.
That was my question. I was going to ask, are councillors allowed to have a disc?
They absolutely are allowed to have a disc. So our plan at the moment is we've got about 90 spare. So we're going to take them to Celebrate Buckingham Day, and it will be an art activity that you can do at Celebrate Buckingham Day. And then we'll do a sort of wash up session after that. Any discs that we have left, we'll arrange a time that councillors could come and do some painting.
Rabina, you've been working on this, and you know, anything you wish to add?
No, I think Louise has covered everything. I was just involved in the initial idea, so the planning is all down to Louise in the office, so thank you for that.
You hadn't really invited me, I arrived late, didn't I? And I have to acknowledge the fact that I got arrived late.
Yeah.
And you steered us towards a good route, which is pretty fantastic, really. From your point of view, you contend that we're doing what we need to do.
Yeah, it's a fabulous lineup and I'm really looking forward to it. The Equality Diversity Group, thanks to Jackie and John, have organised the bingo, disco bingo. So they've been working really hard on that. I can't take any credit for that at all, or any of the rest of it. It's just the initial idea, just coming to a meeting on time and stuff.
Just another prod again. Nice one, Rabina.
Everybody else I'm not worried, I think that's why I mentioned it, so you can actually. Now, are we happy? I think how many years have we been doing this Fringe event now?
Good question, I don't know.
I mean, because
A while.
the history of this, we used to do, I think probably John may remember.
Yeah.
We used to do Week in the Park with the district council, then we picked it up. And then some of Mike Smith used to call it How to Bell Underspend. Mike Smith phrased it as, when we picked it up, it was listed for sometimes How to Bell Underspend. We thought the event was too important to the town to drop. We should have kept that title, I think, really, but somebody took it off. But no, it's very good. Can I, for the minutes, record our thanks to Ravina and the staff and the officers for putting this together?
Yeah, definitely.
And,
I'd just like to record thanks to all the staff. Really, there's no need to thank me at all.
it is important. No, in which case, we move swiftly on to. Yeah, can we agree your recommendations, please?
Yeah.
Those in favour?
Agreed, thank you.
Agreed. In which case, we'll move swiftly on to.
Sorry, just to put it, we don't know the comedian is yet, though.
No, we don't.
No, we don't normally know at this point.
All right.
It could be somebody who doesn't, there's going to be plenty of comedians around, so.
Yeah, we should know in the next few weeks.
Okay.
But you notice in the report, the decision was to stay where we were now, which was the right decision.
That's a noted.
Yeah, I know. In the
Oh,
report,
right, yeah, so
it's in the late
Yeah,
report,
and
but
it's
you'll get.
possible. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very, very much for speaking on that. If we move on to the skateboard, which is number 12, who's leading on that report?
That's mine.
Oh,
Sam.
right. Right, God, Sam, get far away.
So we have managed to agree a date with Canvas Spaces, and that's the 17th of August. It's likely to start at 12 and finish at 4, which is their usual schedule. They will be hosting and emceeing the event. And we will hopefully supplement that with some professional riders using King ramps that we have previously used to host this event. And hopefully supplement the prize package to give away some more freebies to the children that take part. And that's everything so far.
Thank you very much. Members, Louise and Lisa.
Thank you. As the lead councillor on this, every year, can I stay on the lead councillor on this? Because it's something I've always worked on.
You've all been involved.
I'll second that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
And I don't know Canvas Spaces, but I do know King Ramps very, very well. And so I've got no idea what they're going to be like emceeing in that, because King Ramps have always done it. They've done the music, they've done the emceeing, they've done the judging. It's what we pay for them. It's the whole thing. So I'm a little bit nervous about who Canvas Spaces are and whether they can pull it off.
The flu is in the report. We're working with Buckinghamshire Council on this. We agreed to work with them on an event. They didn't know whether they wanted to do the event with us. I believe to correct it that they organised that part of it. It isn't anything that we're doing. The bits that are in the report are the things that we're doing to supplement the event to make it work. Buckinghamshire Council.
Yes, so we agreed at the previous meeting that we would use Canvas Spaces through this agreement with Buckinghamshire Council because they had the funded package with Canvas Spaces already. So it will be the first time.
Canvas Spaces,
so they are experienced.
Yeah, this is what they do this.
Okay.
They are used to hosting opening events for like newly refurbed skate parks and doing their own.
Okay, so then coming back question is, this is more than an opening of an event, because the time that the young people are skateboarding and biking and scootering, that it's all of that as well. It's not just the opening of an event. That's what King Ramps specialise in, is the whole thing. So do you know if they do that side of it as well, Canvas Spaces?
So we're not going to have like an official opening. It's already been.
It's already
ribbon's already been cut. So they will literally come along, set up everything, and then MC host compare for the King Ramps. King Ramps are happy for Canvas Spaces to do that because they have worked with King Ramps before on events. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And
And they'll be there to
no.
like do the, like host the competitions, even coach the children as well while they're on the ramps and
Yeah.
stuff.
They do that normally.
Yeah. I've not worked with ramps.
I think,
I have the
So-
Quickly ramp.
So it's all gonna be new.
I
Yeah,
think we can
yeah.
take it that
I'll be there, so
there's been lots of
Tell me what you
discussions,
know.
yeah,
lots of discussions about getting to this. Of course, it's moved a long way since the original discussion.
definitely.
When we were not going to be doing this and we didn't know whether we were going to be doing an event anyway. So now we're doing a combined event or what's happened in the past.
Well, I'm glad to hear that they've done this before, because that does make me less nervous.
Anybody else got any questions to ask? Just from my point of view, I'm really pleased that we're finally doing it.
Yeah.
Lucy,
On the budget, what's the Bucks Park fee?
So there's actually a higher fee for using a Buckinghamshire Council Park. Put that in as unknown though, because we haven't, we've been trying to find out how much it will be, and also we have suggested that since we're doing this with them, it would
they might
be.
waive it.
Yeah, I think
They should cover it,
I
yeah.
think that would show some really good collaborative working between our two.
I believe that we write the verification of what that means.
Yes, I would like to propose that we write a letter saying how much we're looking forward to working with them. And wondering if, as it is a collaborative project, they wouldn't mind waiving the fee on this occasion.
I'll second that.
No, can I put an amendment to that, please? Rather than saying, asking them to waive the fee, and say as it's our office's time, which is going into organising it, we trust that the
Yeah.
Bucks Park fee will be included in your contribution to the event.
I think that's-
Yeah.
Are you happy with that?
Yeah,
Because I'm not, sorry,
Yeah.
Chair, I'm not happy about this begging bowl, the waiving thing, no.
we've never paid for it before.
No,
right?
it doesn't really
We've
matter, you
never
need to
paid.
manage it, you know.
So I think they changed it sometime last year, I believe it was, and we didn't have a skate park event last year, and this is the only event that we.
Because they haven't got any money.
It's their
So it's not-
policy of charging that using any morsel of ground in Buckinghamshire that they have opportunity to make a charge of.
I know they do, but that's.
And I think what we do is,
Just because it's legal doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I understand your sentiment about
It's
this.
a partnership event.
Yeah.
But I think that it's a partnership event, clarity.
That's fine,
Yeah, I think Fran's amendment.
I look forward to Fran's suggestion that.
Yeah, you know, then we've got time with another meeting before then, there's an issue, then go forward.
Yeah.
and discuss it. From my own point of view, I'm really pleased that this is finally happening.
Definitely.
I can remember being down there with Councillor Harvey and Lisa when we were down there with young people discussing the theoretically of having a skate park, which some years ago, and I know how much time they both put into
They've probably grown up and got families of their own, mate. Yeah.
those children that came to that.
Me and Amanda
they may
spoke-
not be able to bring their own
Me
children.
and Amanda spoke to them about 15 odd years ago,
Yeah.
not longer,
Yeah.
18
Yeah.
years ago. They have got children.
But it has
Yeah.
taken a long time to deliver.
Yeah.
Where we are, we are moving forward in what is probably a safer environment than what was there before, so.
Yeah.
True.
Are we happy, to
Yes,
agree the recommendation and then we'll agree the amendment?
Yeah.
The recommendations? Right, and now we'll do the amendment,
To the proposal on the amendment.
the proposal under amendment. Yeah, it is a proposal, not an amendment, we're proposing.
Yeah, it's a separate proposal.
Do I need to say it?
Yeah, you do that, say it again.
Okay, so I propose we write to Buckinghamshire Council, to say how much we're looking forward to the event and that and as we trust the fee waived on this occasion. I think that's what I said.
As it's a partnership event.
Oh, yeah, how much we're looking forward to working with Buckinghamshire Council and as it's a collaborative partnership, we trust that the Bucks Park fee will be waived on this
Yeah.
occasion.
I'm happy to still second that.
And there was the word about we are putting off to timing.
That was Fran's
That's
amendment.
my amendment to it.
So yeah, so if you and Lisa were happy with Fran's
Yeah.
amendment,
Yeah.
it can become substantive because we.
Okay,
can
great, yeah.
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 Okay,
Yeah.
can you include that?
So my amendment was, Did you get it?
Yeah,
Did you get the amendment?
as we're putting in officer
Sorry,
time.
look.
I had that, as it's a collaborative event and town council staff will be working, the park fee should be considered part of the contribution from funds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
We trust that the park free,
Yeah.
please.
yeah,
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
Is that agreed?
Yeah.
All those in favour? Thank you very, very much. Right, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is summer activities, and Matt, you're leading on that, aren't you? Far away.
So to add to the basketball sessions and the Buckingham play days, I've looked at I tried contacting 3 different companies to host street dance sessions on our behalf. One company's come back to us and we've managed to find suitable availability to run those sessions at the same time, like for 5 or 6 weeks throughout the whole of the summer holidays. Those would take place at Lace Hill Centre between 3 and 5 p.m. It's a reasonable quote, and hopefully that can all go ahead.
Members?
It all looks great to me.
Yeah.
Anything that's going to provide more stuff for young people to do, especially in the summer holidays, is like.
Are
Great.
members happy because it's timing with it? All the press releases we did go out in certain times, and this will go out that we agree that we'll do press release to actually know parents it's going to be something free for their children to do, which I think is really with the cost of the living, it's important that parents know.
Is it possible to circulate it with the schools?
And we normally do send like that sort of information from the parent, like try and get them to send it through parent.
The parents are planning carefully what they do throughout the summer. Lisa?
Yeah, just building on what Lucy said, is that when we first moved here, so my boys were 6 and 11, and the Bucks County Council used to produce this like leaflet, and it'd have in there like every day and what there was and where it was. You played an archery or whatever, and you could book through the website or telephone probably then. But that was really useful as a parent to have things listed of where everywhere they were going to be around Mace Morton or Padbury.
I love those books when I was a kid.
But play around the
Yeah.
parishes was something that the district council did. One thing we do that as well, and the Buckinghamshire Council did the decision that they didn't have it in South Buckinghamshire, that nobody should have it in North Buckinghamshire, basically. And we then took the decision historically that we would, through generosity of the committee, that we carry on funding these things because we felt it was so important. And this is a combination of all those discussions at all the time that everybody's put into support and the office to do this. In which case we agreed to do agree the recommendations, and in that to agree to do a press release.
Yeah.
Is that agreed? Okay, this is again, celebrate Buckingham and it's Sam again.
Oh, okay.
It's important we, you know, don't give us how you feel about what you've done.
And well, to be fair, celebrate Buckingham, Bethany had already done quite a lot of the work, and it's on this month on Saturday the 22nd of June, 11 till 3, like usual. Town Council will have a stall, environment action plan, TIC, shop mobility will be represented, and there will be a quiet zone with the art, crafts, and other games. There'll be the free bungee run and bouncy castle.
Nice.
And at the moment, we have about 18 like community stalls booked in. So if I can try and get a few more, I will keep trying. Most of everything, the schedule's kind of already done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just need to figure out the logistics and boring stuff that you don't need to know about really. But budget, there is some money left in the budget. This year, I don't think we will need to buy any soil. I think in previous years we've had to buy like soil and like, sort of the ground's been cracked. and
If it's
we filled
really
it in.
dry, we have to fill the cracks in the paddock.
It's probably been wet this year. I don't think we'll need to buy the soil.
We have to buy something, because remember the cracks opened up in the field and
Yeah.
we weren't allowed people driving down them.
Mosquitoes, yeah.
Futures.
Ending up in streets too.
Ravine.
Don't need to put a dampener on anything, but I did see a news report saying the Met Office are predicting 50 days of rain over the summer, torrential rain. So do we have a contingency?
be.
Yeah.
I guess
Bad weather.
umbrellas.
Yeah.
Umbrellas.
Met Office are always wrong. And when it comes to local weather here, we get a weather forecast for that side, and we get a weather forecast for that side of us. And we're here and we're right between two weather forecasts. And what we get, whether we get is never one nor the t'other. And we're actually, the way the valleys work here, we sometimes get our own weather, which is always what we rely on. And it's always sunny here, and because we're such good people.
If we know that there's definitely going to be a problem in advance, you know, the past flooded or something, then we'll cancel it in advance. Otherwise, we make the decision on the morning. Whether actually is.
Yeah.
But there's no backup venue. It's too. We have quite a few outdoor events, but then unfortunately, if the weather is bad, we would just have to cancel.
We don't hire spaces, and it'd be money we spent doing very little, and we can't afford to do that.
Yeah, I just thought maybe we would move to like, I don't know, the Lace Hill Community Centre or somewhere.
What the other thing.
Yeah.
So we book it out, and hiring the building we own isn't always that simple.
Yeah.
So it's booked out as well. So are we happy to agree the recommendation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
we'll obviously put out the general press release with that one, which has been done anyway, which is the stuff about what we're doing and where we're doing. We agree that?
Yeah.
Agree?
Yeah.
Thank you. Right, calendar of events, that's really just a note.
Yeah,
John.
there's a typo, the ECD and I Disco Bingo is on Friday, the 26th, not Saturday, because that's Saturday 27th is the.
Well, that's Margaret's job.
She's not here.
I know.
We're in spirit.
She can bring John. Something through John.
She's telling it to John.
Paula, could you note that in the minutes?
Thanks anyway, John, I'm just joking. It's like it's Andy's job to turn the meeting on. And, right, okay, in which case we note that, in which case we move on to the report, which I know we discussed the comedy night, which is a report. Who's leading on the comedy night?
That would be me.
Right, far away.
So the comedy night venue, so at the request of the previous meeting, Bethany and I went and had a look around the Mount Pleasant campus, which had been proposed by the student union. It was lovely. I think there's potential for it to be used in the future or for other events, but the students are not going to be moving in until September. So we thought that perhaps for this year it would be best for the event to stay at Tamil Mill and then have another look, in next.
So it makes sense, really.
I propose we agree.
Lisa was.
Sorry.
Thank you. There was an issue when we did our comedy night at the same time as the cinema people did theirs, I can't remember what it's called now,
The film based.
Film.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Because Margaret raised it, she said that there was parking issues and people didn't know which direction to go. So I just wondered, like, whether that could not have been avoided, or was this literally it, the dates? Because they're only doing it on one night on May the Fringe, was it, sorry, the film place?
When's the film, sorry, when's the film place
We
on?
discussed it in the last meeting and said that we would approach Buckingham Union, see if they could open the Ford Street car park
Yeah.
for people to use.
So the film place does have a film that's on that night. They do have regular Friday and Saturday bookings.
They also have the car park.
but there's two car parks, so the discussion that Bethany had with them was that we put up some extra signage directing from one event to the other. So if you've arrived and you've accidentally gone to the wrong place, there'll be directions to take you to the right one. And that they didn't say yes to opening Ford Meadow, but they did say that there's another car park opposite at the Hunter Street car park, that one. So that one's also going to be open, which will
That'd be big, yeah.
And Station Road is
Yeah.
there as well.
Yeah, that'll help the signage down, because that's so that Margaret's.
So we are happy with that.
Yeah.
I noticed that
Yeah.
Fran then Lucy put the hands up.
I was just gonna say about the parking thing.
Okay. You're going to propose that we agree with
I
it.
propose that we agree with the
That's
recommendations.
Yeah.
All right, all in favour? Thank you. And that'll be promoted through our brochure, the details will come out. Can we just make sure that the committee knows who the committee is first?
we will let you know as soon as we know.
Courtesy, and then we'll do this ownership of it. Then we brings us on to item 17, which is a recommendation, item 17. Who's got anything to say on that, Fran?
Let me find the right page. Yeah, thanks. So, obviously, everything's there in the report. Due to not being able to get anything pinned down and the staffing issues that have come up with Bethany leaving and with Louise leaving, sorry, my mind just goes blank these days. Yeah, in order for the other events that we have got planned to go forward properly, and then for this event to be done properly when we do actually get around to doing it, I suggested that we postpone it till next year, which was discussed and agreed with the deputy town clerk.
We have agreed not
Happy to agree with
that.
that.
Agreed?
Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you very much for the work done on that to make that possible.
And then we
Yeah.
work towards
Work on from there on.
properly doing it for next year.
Mm.
But thank you, Louise, sorry, and Sam for the work that you put into it.
Yeah.
And also, yeah. It was Saturday, was you, wasn't it? It was saying it wasn't Bethany. But yeah, but office time is premium.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much. Which can move on to 18 events review, market entertainment. Anything to say? I think the report's out that's bluntly, John.
I was going to say that we note the report
Yeah.
and also note that the Easter bunnies seem to be quite slim.
The what?
My vision of Easter bunnies are a bit.
But the bloke that stood next to it was fat.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking too.
It's because the Easter Bunny hadn't eaten the chocolate.
Well, evidently, yes.
Yeah.
Given all the chocolate way that.
I think it was unfair because the chap starting in the photograph was tubby, and that made you the bunny look thin. So we may be getting a bowl.
No, it's great, obviously, sounds good.
Whatever. But if you look in the other photograph, the bunny looks quite a lot larger, John, on there.
Well done, Sam, for organising.
Yeah, thank you for that. Spring Green Fair.
So the weather on this particular day, for anyone who came down might remember, was extremely damp and cold. So we did have some cancellations of stalls, but seven stuck it out and stayed, and actually we had a good event. It was really just damp.
We did what we said on the tin, which is important with events that we carry on regardless, and at this point, the regardless becomes obvious that we can't carry on. You know, but yeah, thank you for everyone involved in that. Can we record our thanks to Lena for the time she put into it and for being and all the staff that turned up who were. I was there for the whole event and it was quite hard. And we took down all the things afterwards. It was marvellous how it all swifts away very quickly the team, free spaces and everyone. So we can call our thanks in the minutes, please, is that approved?
Yeah.
Right, John,
Just to say that Louise and I did agree after extensive investigation that one of the two women from Buckinghamshire Council was not the same woman who appeared on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire a fortnight later. Although they look remarkably similar, and very remarkably similar.
did she win?
She won a few quid.
Well, that's probably unfortunate for the woman who came to the show, because she could have had a free holiday away from Buckinghamshire Council. But right, thank you. In which case, we'll move on with members' agreement to the May Day, which I have to
So
confess,
just one second.
yeah,
Is there any
was
recommendation?
it very, the report on there wasn't a recommendation, was it?
No.
Bring for our recommendation.
No, that's fine, yeah.
We move on to the May Day event. I have to confess, I got involved in a case and then I rolled and running out of it, so I was late. Did any members present? John?
Yeah, I was present.
Yeah.
I think we're very, very well. As previously, Bolton Meadows School did rather dominate it there. I don't think that's a problem, because everyone's got a very, very keen teacher there who organises a lot of the dancing, and that's really good to see. I think the question is really for next year, whether it stays there again, or whether we move to another school or we try and rotate it around all the primary schools in the town. I mean, equitably we should, but in practical terms, Bolton Meadow do seem to have a bit of edge on this market. I think that's a debate that we ought to have.
I was just going to say, so two of my godchildren go to Bolton Meadow, and I saw them doing the May Day dancing, and it was lovely. Although you know, about some videos, all the kids looked like they were having a really good time. And although I do agree, it'd be nice for other schools to have a chance. If you look at someone like Grenville, they don't have a big grassy outdoor space, so it wouldn't be great if you've got a group of children dancing around all over on horrible hard surfaces. But yeah.
Brilliant.
I was just going to say, I agree with the recommendations, that it should be left to the local schools, but I also agree with John that it should be rotated amongst the schools. You know, the maypole dancing, they do like, you know, their PE and gym in the hall. I'm sure they could practice the dance in there too, so,
It's having a May.
yeah.
That's one.
Bolton Meadow have a-
Meadow have a May,
Yeah.
other schools don't, which is quite problematic, Lisa.
It's because I asked that question before, and I said about, you know, it not staying at Bolton Meadow, and the answer from Louise was that it's the maypoles there and they kind of know what they're doing.
So the teacher we wouldn't have maypole dancing if she wasn't so keen on actually doing country dancing or whatever, and it revolves around the teacher putting so much time into it. And the reason we moved it down there was because of problems with another event going on at the same place, which we don't go into. But I think what we agree, noting what John said, that we in our offices to have conversations with them about whether they think it's appropriate to rotate it, and if it wants to be rotated, if it's feasibly possible, rather than say we want you to rotate it because we're relying on the good will. I think that's the right way to do it. Do members agree with that?
Yeah.
Agree.
Thank you. In which case we move on to Buckingham Live. Anyone who attended, we opened by our deputy mayor, and somebody meant to film it, but he didn't. He managed to film it. He did a complete fault. I don't know who that could have been, but we won't mention that, will we?
Would that be the late Robin Stutchbury?
But it was saved at the end of it because somebody else knew how to use a camera and film the.
I will send it to you, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Any comments on the event? Grant?
I think the whole weekend was just excellent. It went really, really well. I think we need to thank Susie and all the other people that did the organising
Yeah.
of all the bands on in different places, all the different venues that participated. I think it was just a really, really good weekend of music. All over the town, the spoken word, and there was busking, and there was all sorts of things went on. It was a shame that we took notice of the weather forecast and postponed the the opening because it was supposed to be thunder and lightning, which didn't actually happen.
Doesn't ever happen.
So yeah, I think there was a few people that were a bit upset to not seeing the ukulele band and whoever else was on. But no, it was a really good event. I think it was really well attended. There was children still running around playing football at Close of Play,
Yeah.
which couldn't have happened in the marketplace. Apart from anything else, it's tarmac.
Yeah.
And people had room to spread out, and yeah, it just worked really well. There's a few things that we need to look at for another time. These things will always have teething problems, but no, really well done to everybody that was involved in organising.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, because I mentioned it at the time, is it was so nice to see so many children were still there. And the fact that it's so open that they were able to play football and things like that. It was a nice atmosphere. Because I've been to them, outside of Barclays. And there are kids there, but it's it was very different. It's a very different feel. It felt more family friendly, if I had to put a kind of pin in it.
John.
I think it was the right decision.
Mm.
I know we received some flack, as did the organisers, but I think they did a strong good job in organising a whole weekend of activities and music, live music. It's funny, I was walking past it yesterday, and it seems quite small when the fences are there. Once you fence it gets bigger. It's very, very strange. It's a heck of a lot bigger, of course, than the square up here.
Yeah.
And people were saying, well, there were less people there. Actually, I don't think there were. I think there were more people there, but it was spread out.
Yeah.
And there was room, like you said, for the children to play football. It's quite big. The whole piece of reasons, including the access to the bar and the toilets was straightforward. Often the toilets are not straightforward, because obviously, one of the clubs closed now and so on. I think it was the right decision.
Yeah.
I think we do it again next year. I think we should be done there again next year.
Thank you. I went down earlier in the morning. I tend to with the setting up, but it was so efficiently set up. I think the reason I was just trying to notice that weren't we found some child traps because where the barriers were put up, they opened like that, and I said, you know something? If I was a small child, I'd get in there, and then so we chose the child trap, and we just walked around, and it was good. And compliments to the planning of putting the disabled ramps in, which made a nice visibility entrance to it,
that was
which
good.
worked well, so that there was a flat, solid place for getting wheelchairs. I noticed that people were able to get about, because it was quite firm, the grass, people were able to get about with disability carriages, and it didn't seem to cause any trouble. I also noticed that because of the subbing of the areas, it created safe areas for boys to kick footballs without upsetting everybody else. It also created
And girls.
and girls.
That's why we said children.
Yeah. I just thank you very much. For correcting me again. For people to kick footballs, young people to kick footballs, and
People.
anybody else on this, please, anybody else, please.
We've had a good time playing for footballs as well.
Really play football,
Yeah.
There was lots of dogs there, wasn't there?
I mean, I think we should note that the actual thanks that I know we put a friend today, thank you, but I think that the important thing is with the collaboration on the event. Susie worked very closely with the football club. The football club and Susie worked very closely with the town council and officers to make sure that we ironed out anything before the day. There was a lot of work that went on to do that, which I think is part of the thing that will improve in the future years. My own point of it, standing back and looking at the event where it was, I was so pleased to see little people hobbling around all day. And when they were and being able to be safe in that area because it was fenced, so we had security guards that went in, security guard there, so children could not get out of the event and come to any harm. They were in a safe and closed area, and our security guards were there. No child would have left that event. That's really good from the safety point of view.
Great.
I'd be pleased that the football club had done what they could within their license to make sure that you could get to the bar, you could go around the bar, and you could get in and out, and it flowed. And when I went in there to purchase drinks for other people, you could.
Cheers, Robin.
Yeah.
Cheers, Robin.
Yeah. They moved. You ordered your drink. You moved along, got served at the far end. So that there was a constant flow through the bar instead of people actually standing there waiting for their drink. They served it at the other end, and that was really good. I stayed at the end when we put down, when we walked away. I think at the time it was probably about midnight, was it? About midnight when you and I.
11 o'clock probably left.
Yeah, that's 11.
I then went back and I stayed down the club for some time while they took.
Oh, till midnight. Okay, that makes sense.
Well, I know it was later than midnight, because what people don't realise with the event, that when you take it down, it's the actual whole music system that has to take it down. It's a big job packing it up. All the wires have to go in certain boxes. Everything has to be packed away properly. And that did take some time to do. And I stayed down with the vice chairman of the football club.
I hope you weren't trying to help.
I stayed safely in the clubhouse. And
Provide moral support.
Yeah, good. Well done, Robin, from the bar.
I was not drinking. No, I wasn't drinking
I know.
all day. But I stayed more to support those who were in the bar. But basically, because they couldn't leave, because you had to then turn the floodlights off. The floodlights to illuminate and taking it down. And that's quite a consideration, the amount of time that you put into it. So I think would it be agreeable that we know this, but agree to send some separate letters of thanks? To one letter of thanks from the committee to Susie and her team. And a letter of thanks to the football club for their support.
I think it's a good idea.
The partnership organisation, noting how well it was, and we haven't got it on the agenda, but I'm taking it from the view from trans and I haven't missed it, that we might be agreeing to do it again next year.
It's up to them, isn't it?
Yeah, but Fran.
I was just going to ask Louise if there's been any feedback from any members of the public in the week since about it.
Bits of feedback, mostly very positive.
Yeah.
Also had feedback from some of the other groups that were involved in the rest of the weekend. Some of the other pubs, for example, feel very positive. They thought everything really, really well. There will be a full report at the next on the next.
What we agreed if we wouldn't.
And before that, we'll have had a wash-up meeting as well. So we'll have had a chat with everyone involved and we can get forward any recommendations about it.
It makes sense. We need to know that they're happy. We might be happy, but they might not be. But it was sort of quite rapid in many ways. And one of the things you notice with these things is, as we've always done as a team, whenever we do a new event, we always look at it and we look at things as a team. We all work together to try and think of pinch points. But can we agree that we know the report, but agree that we write 2 letters of thanks?
Agree.
And please then record our thanks to the office team for all the work they put into
Yeah.
facilitating this event.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Thank you. Actually, it all sounds like we thought we were going to go and do something with action, but it really is an important thing that we probably ought to do. Is there any comments on the action list? Well, we're happy to know it.
Noted.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Climate action report, no actions on there at the moment, we have to note that.
Yeah, noted.
We've agreed our press releases in advance, so we don't need to do those. Chairman's items, can I please ask us to record in the minutes our thanks to Louise for the constant support she's given this committee, her ability to make us raise our hands.
Can we raise our hands to that?
Yeah. And give her a round of applause. It has been appreciated.
Yeah.
We also wish you every luck in your next employment.
Yeah.
We're lucky to have you. Thank you very much. And with Kate,
Yeah.
with the big date in the meeting being the 22nd of July, it will then won't be in person. So we can all change our plans. In which case I would like to standing orders that move under the Public Bodies Act, section 12, 1972, Act 72, but the following items will